back everyone, Crowon here again, and we're going to go ahead and import UCE Bindpoint. So let's get that one in and let it import. Alright, so let's go ahead and expand it and open up the README. Alright, so we have a few steps in here to make sure this is completely set up and ready to go. So I know these are not in exact order. I may do some of them out of order. It's not super detrimental as long as the pieces are in place properly. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to move resources out right away just so we don't forget about it. This is an item, so we're going to move it down. To give you an idea, this item essentially is like a Hearthstone from World of Warcraft. This is a way to get back to your bind point without dying. Alright, so now let's go ahead and drag this into our canvas. So we'll drag it up here and drop it in. Okay, now we need to find our NPC dialog here, and we're going to go ahead and add this script to it. And you can expand your dialog all the way down to the panel button and drag this panel for the NPC dialog panel onto here. Now we need to go ahead and prefabs add the NPC dialog, add this to your panel for buttons, then go back to your dialog here and drag that onto bind point button. And then we would need to set the panel for the actual binding here. So we'll come in, expand it, and pull the panel out and drop it on. Alright, so the NPC dialog is set up now. Now, you don't have to do it this way. There are other options, but this is if you want an NPC to be interacted with, like the Innkeeper from World of Warcraft, to set a Hearthstone bind point. Now in here, if you would prefer it being like an object, or they just walk to a zone and it sets it, then in here under prefabs drag to scene we have those examples. So you have a basic bind point and interactable one. So this one they just walk to, this one they have to interact with for it to do something. Alright, and then we need to set up the respawn panel here. So let's go ahead and expand that. And on here we need to attach the script, drag the panel on as well, and there's buttons here. We're going to go ahead and go to our prefabs and add this button. Now these will somewhat overlay each other. Now this option you don't need if you don't want. This is when they die, they have the choice to respawn as normal, or they can respawn at their bind point. I'm going to move this slightly over because if you see, these are going to be like on top of each other. So this is over 60 and this one's right in the center. So we're going to go -60 with that one, just so it doesn't look kind of funky. And we did not attach our button, so let's drag that on and attach it there. Alright, and then we can save. And this is the complete setup for getting a bind point with an NPC -1 step, which we have to go. Right now it's just not going to show the option because we have to tell the alchemist that it has it, and you do that by finding on the alchemist the bind point. It's asking for a transform, so we can just go ahead and actually we'll open up the alchemist by going up to the top and open prefab. Now in here we're going to create a new object called a bind point mount, and we're just going to go down here and we're just going to move it just slightly in front of the alchemist. We don't want the character spawning on top of the alchemist. And then on the alchemist, find that bind point again. There it is, and let's just drag that bind point mount, save, and back up, save again. Alright, so you can collapse these up. And let's go ahead and actually give our alchemist that item quick. So let's add another item. And not prefabs, we're going to go to resources, items, and then let's give them the bind point teleport. It's just, you can click on it and you can set your price and description and all that as well. Even an image. Let's see, do we have any decent images? Let's just use this one. So medallion. And you can have it use this up if they activate it. So if you want this a consumable item, or you want to make potions, that's all an option. Otherwise, this case, this is more like the Hearthstone. It just, you can keep using it over and over and over again. All right, so it collapse that. We'll save one more time. We'll hit play. We'll come in here. And let's go ahead and buy that bind point item from our alchemist. So now you see set bind points here. So we click on this and it's going to ask you want to bind for sure. You say yes. And then we're going to buy a bind point stone. And we're just going to go down here and use it like so. And now you can see I get teleported back to the alchemist. The other option is we can go down here and get killed as well. So we have our poison skill to stop our regeneration, because otherwise it's going to take a hot minute. So let's keep that active. Stay poisoned the whole time. And it's going to take them a hot minute to kill us at this rate. So let's keep popping our poison. Apparently we should have implemented an item that just kills us. You know, that would have probably been faster. And this is why your AFK timer should not be super short. We probably could have changed the bandit back to hostile. Actually, do we have in our inventory the scroll? Yeah, here. We'll summon a giant. That'll kill us pretty quickly. Or we don't have him set up to fight us. Oh, yeah, we do. There we go. He'll kill us quick. After he kills all the skeletons, because he's not considered an undead. Can we spawn our one? Alright. Alright, so it killed us. Now it asks if we want to spawn our bind point or back at a regular respawn, and we're just going to say our bind point, and here we are. So, perfect. We now have the ability to come back to our bind point when we die. We also have that item that allows us to come back to our bind point as well. And then, like I showed you before, there are some interactables and stuff that you can set up instead if you want them to talk to like a fireplace to reset their bind points or anything of that nature. So that is it for bind points. So I'll catch you in the next one.